Walking up the picturesque Pottinger Street steps in central Hong Kong, we arrive at 1 Lyndhurst Tower, where on the 16th floor you will find the classic watch repair lounge, which is where I bring my watches for service. It is also a good place to shop for spare bracelets, bezels, and Rolex dials. Rolex is the bread and butter of this shop. You will find a finely curated selection of vintage Rolex and other brands' timepieces. But of course, you come here to meet on the left Barry and on the right the famous Michael Young, known as well as the bracelet magician. So, in a further video, we will discover how he rejuvenates those famously stretched out Rolex bracelets.
That's one little trick, that when your Rolex band get a little bit loose on this clasp. So
It was friction, right?
it's basically friction.
Yeah.
So when it's loose, there's no click. Doesn't work.
Okay.
Okay.
You just need to bend it a bit.
It's just the difference of the length from the top and bottom.
Yeah.
That's a little trick that not a lot of collectors know. So basically bend this and then you can adjust. That's a little bit loose now, still a little bit loose, and that's now better. You want it really tight, you can even flatten the bottom.
Yeah,
See,
that's good to know.
that's a little trick for today.
But first, the service part of the workshop. You can bring in your watch for a quick 5-minute diagnosis on the time grapher, and of course to check the water resistance. And then you can see if a full service is warranted or not. So Michael is happy to service any watch, but of course some brands make it more difficult to source spare parts. Some watches are getting very old and it is equally difficult to find the spare parts. Also, we could discuss in a further video, and we had a good chat with Michael about independent watchmakers and the serviceability of their watches in the future. Continuity is very important for a brand, and one reason why Rolex is so appreciated is because they made servicing their watches all around the world by third-party watchmakers like Michael very easy. Rolex could not possibly handle all the service jobs themselves, and I think other brands would be well inspired to do the same. Now, should you polish or not your watch, it's up to you. A light polish can be handled in this workshop by Michael, who actually polished one of my very own favorite watches just for this video and your enjoyment, but more complex polishings which require dismantling the whole watch will be done in a different workshop. Of course, damaged dials and worn out cases can also be mended at Classic Watch Repair. When you see the number of vintage Rolex dials that are brought to Michael for an alteration, a rejuvenation, a restoration, you can get a better sense of really what amount of dials in the vintage market are really totally unaltered. A professional job will be very difficult to detect, although Michael can recognize his own work, for example, when he applies a fresh coat of vintage style lume on a dial. He can remove all the chips, for example, on this Tudor dial, and he can relacquer your glossy dials as well. Before we go, let's have a quick look at the current watches available for sale at Classic Watch Repair. There are also some fun memorabilia. Some of them are sourced from Michael's previous businesses where he would perform services for some major Swiss brands. Of course, Michael is a Rolex specialist, so whether it's your first or your 10th Rolex vintage purchase, he will be of very good advice. And Classic Watch Repair is one of the shops as well that I would recommend you to visit when you come to Hong Kong, or if you live in Hong Kong, of course. All right, guys, we'll come back to a few of the subjects that we touched upon in this video. Let me know if you have questions for Michael and his team in the comments. We will try to address them all. Give the video a like, give Classic Watch Repair a like, and please subscribe if you don't want to miss the upcoming videos. Bye bye, guys. Thank you for watching.